I see a little silhouette of a man. Scaramouche, will you do the fandango?
These words may seem like gibberish, but they are actually some of the most popular lyrics of all time, sang by multi-generations and belong to the musical phenomena of Bohemian Rhapsody. The words are strange and the meaning is unclear, but Bohemian Rhapsody has remained a rock favorite for over 40 years. Bohemian Rhapsody is a song by the British rock band Queen. The song was written by member Freddie Mercury for the band's 1975 album A Night at the Opera. It was released in 1975 as a single and soon became a commercial success. It was at the top of the UK singles chart for 9 weeks and sold more than 1 million copies by the end of January 1976. The song reached number 1 again in 1991 for 5 weeks when it was re-released following Mercury's death, and eventually became the UK's third best-selling single of all time. The original peaked at number 9 in the United States in 1976, but rose to number 2 when it was featured in the movie Wayne's World in 1992. Bohemian Rhapsody remains one of Queen's most popular songs and is often considered to be the greatest rock song of all time. Bohemian Rhapsody was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame in 2004. In 2012, the song topped a list on an ITV nationwide poll in the UK to find the nation's favorite number 1 in more than 60 years of music, as Mercury's vocal performance was chosen as the greatest in rock history by readers of Rolling Stone. The song was written by Freddie Mercury at his home in London, and according to guitarist Brian May, most of Queen's songs were written in the studio, but this one was all in Freddie's mind. According to one of Mercury's friends, Chris Smith, Freddie started developing Bohemian Rhapsody in the late 1960s. Recording for the song began on August 24, 1975 at Rockfield Studio 1. 4 other studios were used in the making of the track: Sarm East Studios, Wessex Sound, Roundhouse, and Scorpio Sound. To practice their parts of the song, Freddie Mercury, Brian May, and Roger Taylor sang their vocal parts continuously for 10 to 12 hours a day. The entire song took 3 weeks to record and finish at nearly 6 minutes long. The New York Times stated that the song's most distinct feature is the fatalistic lyrics. Mercury never explained what the lyrics meant except for the fact that they were about relationships, and to this day the band is still protective over the song's secret. There are 2 interpretations of the song. One interpretation is that the song is about a man who accidentally killed someone. Another interpretation of the song is about sexuality. This interpretation became popular at the time when Mercury was beginning to come to terms with his bisexuality. Mercury felt people should listen to the song and make their own interpretation of the meaning. He explained the song didn't just come out of thin air. I did a bit of research, although it was tongue-in-cheek and it was a mock opera. I think people should just listen to it, think about it, and then make up their own minds as to what it says to them. However, many think of it as the most complex song ever written, with fans coming up with thousands of interpretations. Brian May confirmed some of the suggestions that the song was about Mercury's personal life. Lyrically, the song seems to be about a young man who is on trial for killing someone, the emotions he goes through when finding out the consequences for his actions. He then seems to want to rebel his fate, but eventually realizes he needs to accept it. Queen devotees believe the extensive use of the word Galileo was for Mercury to show his appreciation for Brian May, who loved astronomy. May said everyone was shocked when Freddie came in with a 4-part suite. A suite is a common musical form associated with ballet or opera that is divided into 2 parts. Recording tech was so overused by the multi-track Scaramouches and Fandangos that some of the tapes became transparent from the number of overdubs they did. As illustrated in the current movie Bohemian Rhapsody, which is about the making of the song by Queen, one of the obstacles the band faces is they were informed repeatedly no one was going to play a song longer than 3 minutes on the radio. This song is 5 minutes and 55 seconds long, almost double the normal length. To get around the fact that popular radio stations weren't going to play that long of a song, they sent it to a few smaller disc jockeys who played it, and once fans heard it, they desired copies of something that hadn't even existed yet. In an effort to promote the song, the band produced a promotional music video. This was way before things like MTV existed. This song appealed to large amounts of people as it included sounds from power ballad, light opera, heavy opera, hard rock, etc. Queen spent 3 weeks recording the song, one of which they spent working on the operatic section. At the time, it was the most expensive single to produce, and only Mercury knew how it would sound in the end. On July 13, 1985, Queen played at Wembley Stadium in England at Live Aid, opening with an abbreviated version of Bohemian Rhapsody. Live Aid was the biggest concert in rock history, with performances that included David Bowie, Elton John, etc. The mission of Live Aid was to raise funds for the Ethiopian famine. Concerts were held in London and Philadelphia, and between the 2 locations, over 170,000 people attended and more than 1 billion watched worldwide. A great quote to describe how Queen performed at Live Aid is from Elton John, who stated, "You bastards, you stole the show." Like other bands, Queen requested to perform during an ideal time slot. Others were looking to maximize their exposure to audiences in the US, but Queen performed at 6 p.m. local time in London, which was prime time in the UK and an optimal time for US viewers of this 16-hour-long concert. Queen received so much attention and regained so much popularity from Live Aid concert, they decided to embark on a stadium tour in 1986 that had 26 dates. This tour was Freddie Mercury's last, as he was diagnosed with HIV/AIDS in 1987. Even today, 43 years later, so many people enjoy listening and singing along to Bohemian Rhapsody. It has long been considered a musical work of art, yet at the same time being the most least understood song. The movie surrounding the making of the song is currently in theaters and has a total worldwide gross of almost $500 million. It is also currently being played on the Hits 1 channel on Sirius Radio. These examples prove the amazing phenomena of Bohemian Rhapsody will continue for years to come and will have an impact on new generations of music listeners.